In this video, we are discussing about the subsidies. First of all, you have to understand in the normal language what is meant by subsidies. For example, we are government is giving the subsidies on the petrol, diesel, on the fertilizers, on the cylinders. So I will give the example of the gas cylinder that we are using in our at our homes. Actually, the price of the cylinder nowadays, it's the price of a cylinder is 700 rupees in the market. In the market means in the international market overall, whatever the taxes on there, whatever the price of the product of the raw material, making is a finished good, all that thing included in that. So the last final goods rate plus taxes, all that is rate according to that you can take the example. For example, 800 rupees cylinder is there, but government is giving the subsidy on it of 200 rupees, and we are paying 600 rupees per cylinder. So it means 200 rupees as for the subsidies. Actually, in the starting, what they are discussing about the subsidies for what? Subsidies for the only for the agriculture, in the agriculture sector, and on which things they have to give the subsidies. So starting, first of all, it will be discussed in the all over the country, because the subsidies context of the agriculture. It means from there it will start it, that the farmers get input prices lower than in the market price. So that is why it is provided. During the essential phases of green revolution, new technologies was looked upon on being the risk of the farmer. So it was necessary for the government to grant the subsidy to provide an intensive for the adoption of the new yield variety of the seeds. However, with the passage of time, there has been debated over the huge amount of subsidies granted by the government. Is the subsidy is in the favor of economy? The government should continue with agriculture subsidies as farming in the Indian continue to be a risk business. Majority of the farmers are very poor and they will not able to afford the required inputs without the subsidies. Eliminating of the subsidies will increases the income inequality between the rich and the poor farmers and will violate the ultimate goal of the equality. So that is why the subsidy is important. Economists against the subsidies. Some of the economics does not support to the subsidy. According to them, it is not a good type of policy, and some of them are saying that it is benefited for the poor. So these are the two different factors or the two different concept of the economists about the subsidies. But actually, the thing is that the subsidies is very good, but the implementation of the subsidy, how it will be give the benefit to the poor, that planning is very important for that. Now we are going to discuss about the industrial development in India. Why it is important, what is the use of industrial development. India is an agriculture country, then why it is important? Because in the agriculture, whatever the raw material we are producing, we have to use them for our sake, for supplying, for earning the foreign exchange. So we have to use the proper industries also. We have the developing of the country can progress only if they have a good industry sectors, according to, because we have to use our raw material also. So that is why industry provide employment which is more stable than the employment in the agriculture, because agriculture employment is depend on the rainfall. That is the thing. Industrialization promotes the modernization and overall prosperity. Due to this reason, 5-year plans stress a lot on the industrial development. They are just giving the importance to the agriculture, but they thought that it gives the employment. So they have to think about. So it is important that the industrial development is very important, and government is just stressing to develop the things. At the time of independence, a variety of industries the variety of industries was very limited. The cotton, textiles, and the jute industries were mostly developed in India. There were only two well-managed iron and steel firms, one in Jamshedpur and another in Kolkata. So there was a strong need to expand the business industries base of the varieties of industries. For the benefit of industrialization, for it is helpful for our country in the agriculture sector, also in the employment also. It also gives them new machineries for the other sector also. So industrial development is very important at that time. Role of public sector in industries development. At the time of independence, a big question facing by the policymaker was to decide the role of the government and the private sector in industrial development. There was a need of leading role in the public sector due to the following reasons: shortage of capital in the private sectors. Privates at that time, because India was a poor country and it was the underdeveloped, so that is why no most of the people don't have the money, don't have capital for the industries, and industries requires a very big capital. So that is why government just invests their amount for that. Lack of incentives on the incentive for private sectors. There is no benefit for the private sectors. Even the rules and regulations are very strict at that time. Difficult to take the license, difficult to take the permission, no company law is there. So that is why it is difficult to establish a industry in India at that time. Objectives of the social welfare. The government is in the objective of equality and the social welfare of the government could be achieved only through the direct participation of the states in process of industries, because the private sector earn the profit for themselves, and maybe they will exploit the people. So that is why states are just directly involved in that. Industrial policy resolution in 1956. Industrial policy of the comprehensive package of policy measures which covers various issues concentrated with different industrial enterprises of the country. Industrial policy is essential for reversing various procedures, principles, rules and regulation for controlling the industrial enterprising in the country at that time. So after the industrial policy in 1948, Indian economy has to face a series of economics and political changes. So again, they are pressurizing, and in the 30th April 1956, the second industrial policy resolution was adopted in India. Actually, according to 1956, industries were reclassified into three categories: Schedule 1, Schedule A, Schedule B, Schedule C. Schedule A, this first category comprise industries which could be exclusively owned by the state. In this schedule, 17 industries were included, like arms and ammunitions, atomic energy, heavy and core industries, aircraft, oil, railways, shipping, etc. Schedule B, in this industry, 12 industries were placed, which would be progressively state-owned. The state would take the initiatives of setting up industries, and private sectors will supplementary efforts of the states. This schedule includes industries like aluminium, mining, machinery tools, fertilizers, etc. Schedule C, this industries consisted of the remaining of the industries which were to be the private sectors. The state would facilitate the encouraging the development of all these industries. These industries were controlled by state through the system of license enforced under the Industrial Act 1951. So according to that, it will be industrial licensing. Industrial licensing is a right written permission from the government to an industrial unit to manufacture goods. The Industries Development and Regulation Act 1951 empowered the government to issue the license for setting up new industries, expansion of the existing ones, and diversification to produce. Now, what is the according, you can say, what is industrial license, small scale industries, and foreign trade? We will discuss these things in the next video.